back to Yangshuo. This park is 10 kilometers long. I don't remember how many kilometers wide. And this park is full of what Lee describes as baby bamboo sprouting out of the ground, but 1,000,000 times bigger. And that is kind of what it looks like, right? All of these lumps, which are massive, they are karst chimneys that have been carved out over a long, long time by water. In Chinese, they say the land of 100,000 mountains. Yeah, good luck ever counting all of them. This is the distinct geological feature of the whole area of southern Guangxi province. We are near the town of Guilin, and we met up in Yangshuo because we arrived late last night. We made that night market video, but this morning we woke up bright and early. We're out on the motorbike. You can drive and enjoy the scenery for yourself for free, or on the sides of the road, there are caves to visit, there are lakes. The highlights in this area are the Moon Mountain, this amazing, gigantic arch. It is just magical. It's one of the most romantic places I've ever been. It is amazing. 花生酱拌面云吞还有什么小笼包然后蒸饺谢谢 Oh wow, okay, so I got some corn. I love places like this. Just a wonderful advertisement for the restaurant. When you see those towers, you know exactly what you're gonna get. And this is like not just travelers food, this is like the fast food, you could say, the morning breakfast for, I was gonna say millions, actually probably hundreds of millions of people. Okay, 2 more dishes. So another one I got that sounds so interesting is peanut mixed into noodles. I don't actually know what that means. Lee translated it for me and I just wanted, peanut butter noodles. We're gonna check this out. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, I haven't really seen this preparation before. She puts in this mix of, it's just seaweed, but the way that she's making it up is a little bit different. Yeah, and of course, every province will have a different way of making noodles. But whatever you get, whether it's the wontons like I got, yuantun in Chinese, or noodles, you can recognize these small differences, not just over the province, but even through each district. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of chili, a little bit of vinegar in this. Ah, 谢谢. So in this cabinet, they steam everything, and that's how you know that they're clean. So these have all been steamed. I'm gonna make up a little bit of a dip for our dumplings. Some pickled chili and radish. Oh, and there's the one with the peanuts. Yeah, and it is the usual situation. There are people all around. Okay, Lee, have a seat. Got our 2 dishes over to the table. Okay, so got the 2 dips ready to go with these 3 orders. The 蒸饺, so 饺子 is dumpling, but how do you want it? Steamed, fried, deep fried, or so 蒸 is steamed. You can also have 水饺, the soup dumplings in soup. In this recipe, there's pork and corn. This one, though, is the unique one for me today. So even though these recipes are simple, you'll notice throughout the different provinces, even throughout different districts, if you're here in Guangxi, they eat a lot of noodles. So there are so many different versions and variations, even though it is quite a simple dish. So we're in Yangshuo, which is, again, a touristy place. So there are a few different variations that might not come from Guangxi. So the peanuts to me is totally new. So when Lee translated this dish, it smells awesome. When Lee translated this dish to me, wow, what? I've never heard of that dish. This is a different type of noodle too. You see, it's not the rice noodle. What it needs is both of these. And I'm gonna immediately go and get a re-up. Chili oil, vinegar, pickled chilies, pickled radish, pickled mustard greens, pickled cowpeas. We need more of this, but let me try that first. So when you're on a trip, I hope you can use those 3 names of the dishes or even any of the other variations. You can get a hearty, filling breakfast, usually of noodles, of dumplings, and of the baozi. Those are the steamed buns. You can usually get that combination of 3 things in all of the provinces that I've been to in China, that's for sure. So the prices here, actually because we came behind the bus station, the prices here are pretty good. For Yangshuo, they are very good. But like, just for example, this is 6 kuai, 6 renminbi. But where Lee's sister lives, it's 4. Other places, though, in Yangshuo, we saw it for 15. So paying 2 renminbi extra, I'm okay with that. Oh man, and I mean, undeniably, this thing really is good. They're so sticky by now. I've been sitting here for 5 minutes. So the noodles have like finally finished cooling down. They continue to cook for a little bit after because they're served at such a high temperature. So they're almost, let's see, they're almost unable to separate. And man, that is a filling dish. These are quite heavy. It's rice and wheat mixed together. So that's called mian, different than fun. Fun is rice noodle and fun is rice, by the way. So that peanut dish is, wow. It's as filling as it sounds. Let's try some of the other stuff. Second dip, bring it over here. It's a fairly common recipe, the minced pork and corn. And then you see, again, that same flour. It's a rice-wheat combination flour. They fold it so beautifully. I really like these. Yeah, and the speed at which they can roll out a couple dozen of these is really impressive. Dripping some chili oil. Let's go. It really is like fast food Chinese style. I love the memories that you start to build up. Oh, people are still, I love, over all the different years, the different travel experiences, I love how the same simple flavors can get you excited to have them again when you've been without them for long, but also those same simple flavors are linked to so many beautiful memories that you have on trips. That's why I love simple things like tea, like naan bread or roti bread, paratha. In China, dumplings and steamed buns like this, Lee would say, noodles. Food absolutely does not need to be fancy to be so fulfilling in terms of the, not even just the sustenance in your belly, but like the fulfillment that you want from a travel experience. So, like for me, if someone asks, oh, Joel, how was China? What do you miss about China now that you're back home? I could say, so much of my feeling from China is like solidified around a morning breakfast of steamed buns and dumplings and spicy sour chili dip. Like, no matter all the super beautiful, fancy, authentic, or like ancient recipes we have, those are super fun and such a gift to be able to experience those. But it's in the morning when you have time to just take it easy, take it slow, and think, and let those memories from the night before sink in. And this is what you're having while those memories are taking time to sink in. So this is also such a special food for me. So I would say this is my favorite food of China. Dumplings, spicy dip, and some morning hot water or hot tea or coffee, because I make it myself. Those dumplings go down fast. Okay, third dish, and then we got a bus to catch. So one of the few Chinese foods that I knew before I ever came to live in Asia was wonton. It's a very easy name to pronounce. Actually, though, in China, it's yuntuan. So the noodle kind of droops over the edge of your spoon. It is a form of dumpling, but it's so many people eat it that this specific dumpling has changed the name, and now it has its own name, even though you could say it's a type of dumpling. I mean, it's very similar. The wrapping, even the ingredients, very similar to a dumpling, but this is a yuntuan. And I got the soup version. So she starts it off with some seaweed in the bowl first. She just flops them all in. She said, do you want the 4 kuai or 6 kuai? Do you want the normal size or the extra size, the extra amount? And then she just dumps them in. I thought she was putting them into like the the hand tool, but no, she just threw them all into the pot, and then she goes and fishes them back with that hand tool. I thought that was pretty cool. Then she pours them in, then she tops it up with another spoon of the broth, and then it's served. The whole thing, because her husband is making these rapid fire right next to her, the team together can make the whole dish in like, I would say under 60 seconds, if not 30 seconds, if she's making multiple bowls at the same time for multiple customers. She can serve, I don't know, maybe 5 of these bowls in 90 seconds, like no problem. And that's what you need to do. Those are the speeds you need to be able to handle when you are making street food in China. So these are on the smaller side. Some of them are big enough that you could contemplate going for 2 bites. It'd be a huge 1 bite. These are very comfortable 1 bite though. I love that seaweed. It really does add a lot of umami. The yuntuan themselves just have pork, and that's it. I mean, it really is just pork and then the rice flour wrapper. You don't need all those flavors. The yuntuan are just comforting because of the temperature on a cool morning. And also, Chinese just love hot soup, hot noodles, hot stuff in the morning, or for every meal, right? One thing, there isn't always a spoon available. So, just to show you, with chopsticks, you might do something like this. Poke, and try to grab the other side, and then be quick. Or, by now, I've seen many people do this one. Slurp of soup, and then you kind of scoop the yuntuan into your mouth. Actually, that way is so tasty because you can get them both rapid fire. You don't have to wait the 1 second that it takes to get another spoonful. Ooh. If you do come here though, and you don't mind spending extra for a totally unique dish, I'm sure the beer fish is amazing. We've had beer duck, beer chicken, we've had drunk goose. But it's just because of this location, it's so famous. But if you're willing to pay for it, I'm sure it's gonna be so good. It's just Lee and I are on a 1-month trip, so we're not going out every single day and buying the most famous dish of each area. It's just, yeah, that's just not how we travel. But I would recommend going full gas. I mean, visit the special place, eat all the special dishes, enjoy the scenery, and learn everything that town has to offer. It's just, I wanted to show just the real way that Lee and I are taking this trip, because it is a long trip. So gotta go the full distance and make the budget last till the end. Okay, let's walk a little bit over here. It is so green. Even though it's raining almost every single day, people from this part of China will recommend this as the season to visit because of the rain. It makes everything so misty, kind of foggy every morning. And I think this is just one of the most romantic landscapes that I've ever been in. It is amazing, truly. Wow. Oh, spider web, sorry, spider. Before we get back into town, I noticed there were already a few questions asking about prices, cost of travel. So I might take a moment just to answer a few of those questions. You might find it interesting. So where we live in Thailand, it is already a pretty famous place. If you take a trip to Thailand, I would say Bangkok, Chiang Mai, and Phuket. These are going to be the 3 most well-known places. We live pretty close to downtown Chiang Mai, so we have a pretty fair idea of what it costs to live there. And now we're coming to visit Lee's sister. Just for example, she lives outside of Guilin. She lives a little bit further than we do from the large town of Chiang Mai. Guilin, Chiang Mai. I don't know how closely you could compare those two, but yeah, they're both big, very well-known places. And I would say the cost of living is comparable. You could compare them. I would say though, taking trips around as a tourist in China are going to be a little bit more expensive than they are for us in Thailand, but that's because we live in Thailand and we know what to do. If we came as a tourist, I would guess, and Lee, give me your opinion on this, I would guess The cost is very similar. And to add a third country to that, we were recently in Vietnam, and I would say the very same thing. When we met up with our local friends in Vietnam, the places they took us to, the stuff we saw, some fireworks, it is a festival time. Wow. The places they took us to in Vietnam were totally awesome budget, like really what felt like a really great deal compared to the tour type stuff that we had been doing. So even though we live in Southeast Asia, when we visited Vietnam, we were tourists. So I paid the price that locals would say, why are you paying so much? But because we're tourists, we don't know what else to do. So that level, right? So again, if I were just traveling in Chiang Mai and I didn't know what to do, I would say the place we went, Da Nang in Vietnam, and then here in Guilin, and then Chiang Mai, where I live. I would say these three places are very similar. One thing that's going to be very good in China is the food. Very cheap, definitely the cheapest of the three, definitely the biggest portion sizes. And I would say in Thailand, the housing is going to be the one that you can save money. You can find really awesome rent for what you get. The balance of what you pay for what you get in Thailand in terms of the place you will stay, that's a really good deal. China, we've been a little bit surprised at the room prices, but then again, the food, it really makes up for it. Food here is so affordable and huge portion sizes. Also, it's delicious. All three of these countries are famous for their food. In Da Nang, Lee, what would you say is the really surprising low budget thing? The transportation. We rented a motorbike for like $2 per day or something like that. So and the bus was really cheap in Vietnam as well. Okay, so there you have it. There's three things just off the top of my head. In China, you'll save a lot on food. You might pay more for the room that you'll stay. In Thailand, you'll really save on the room, but it might cost a lot to pay the entry fees for the different places. And then in Vietnam, you can really save on the transportation cost. Also, our flights to Vietnam were really good price. China, the flight prices have gone way up. My visa is fine. I still have my 10-year visa, which I got 5 years ago, the first time I came to visit. Vietnam visa is going through a lot of changes right now. But basically, you can expect $30 to $50 for a US citizen. And then Thailand, there is a visa exempt situation for about a month. You can stay for free, sometimes a little bit more, but roughly a month. A US citizen can go for free. So there you go. Quick comparison of the last three countries that we have been to together. Now we are going to return to Guilin, to the main town. I'm going to ride the bicycle back, and Lee is so awesome how she facilitates my explorations by bicycle. I'm being selfish with this statement, but usually it pays off because me riding the bicycle, I can scope out some restaurants for us to visit on the way. So I tag them, and that's my small payment. A lot of kisses as well, I hope. So we are going to get back to town. We're going to try to find just a street food breakfast, and then we're going to get back to Guilin. So yeah, see you downtown, but enjoy more of this gorgeous Yangshuo scenery first. They are really cracking off with those fireworks over there. And there's a huge cave. Can you see that? Huge cave. Wow.